we first got to Australia, it was just kind of, I think I felt free, actually, when compared to New Zealand, because the 70s in Sydney were quite fantastic. They really were. This was a wide-open town in the 70s, and you just had fun. You could live for nothing and have a great time every single night and every single day. So it was just a pleasure to be here rather than feeling trapped in New Zealand, I think. We didn't go back to New Zealand to tour for a long time because we didn't actively cultivate the New Zealand market the way Split Enz did, where they'd, every single album be called Pahutu Tuanui or something, Good God, give me a break. We just sort of going, we're a pop band, we're working over here. New Zealand couldn't feed us, we left. Our loyalty really, pragmatically, was to the place that was supporting us.
Moving to Australia, I guess, has meant to me in the long run is that it's allowed me to do more what I want to do with my life. Selfish thing, but it's, I can live in the circumstances I want to. There's enough scope here for all sorts of musical things, but without having to live in crap circumstances like in LA or in London or just places where your life is a struggle. The thing that struck me about Australia, of course, is that it's just so huge and so flat. And when it gets so hot, the blue gums are all, it's all misty and blue and stuff. And it just seemed incredibly old compared to New Zealand. But then this part of the country, south of Sydney, with all these ranges, is rainforest. It's very lush. And I guess it reminds me more of the King Country.
My hometown in New Zealand, well, it's called Taumarunui. Fairly rugged and inaccessible sort of area. I remember growing up there, it being a very great place to grow up. It was really safe and really secure. The boy used to play piano, and I played drums, and Todd would play guitar, and Stuart would play sax, and we'd go out and do all these country halls, 21sts and things, and the men would sort of line up on one side of the barn, and the women would line up on the other side of the barn, and they'd all bring a plate of lamingtons and stuff, or curry with those raisins in it, real country stuff.
Everything seemed better days, boats in which we sailed away and lie all rusted on rocky ground. And here we sit with a schooner away, dreaming of a wind that'll make us sail, taking us far away. Do you remember how it was? We had the moon and time behind us, used to take them out up to here. Those were our young years. Our wings were drying in the sun. Now the winds are out our window feel so cold. Where are our young years?
It became more and more obvious to me that I was sort of, very isolated musically. And practical stuff too, there was no one you could go, there were no bands you could go and see to find out how things, you'd wonder why your band didn't sound like bands on records, and you realise, we haven't got a bass player, stuff like that.
I sort of joined the band, and I used to wear these big floral shirts and play congas, and I had these great big sort of taupe-coloured flares, they're about 8 foot wide down the bottom. I used to hide behind the congas and go, and sing in a really small voice, because I thought perhaps if I sing really small and play the congas, no one will notice me. That went on for a while. We sort of developed a stage act where we used to paint our faces and cut up a big box of Weet-Bix on stage, because one of our songs was called Weet-Bix and was thematically, it was cool,
We just had to get out, we were going around in circles, things were stagnating, so we just told everybody that we were leaving.
I came over and checked it out. I went back and told the band that I think it'd be great if we went to Australia. We sold our gear, put our little stack heels, our wedgie clothes, the Joan Crawford wedgies into a tea chest, and came to Australia. We got off at Kingsford Smith and were met by a lady called Di Edwards who worked for Polygram Records that we were signed to in New Zealand. And she shoveled us into a boarding house and said, "Good luck, kids." New Zealand is basically, in my experience, a barbaric place, There's that undercurrent of violence, and there's that undercurrent of Maori pride, mana, and strength in people. So by the time someone has decided that they want to do a certain thing that they can't do in New Zealand, they're utterly set on their course. They're monomaniacs. By the time they get out of New Zealand to a different country, they're going, I'll take that, I'll have that, and they smash through a whole lot of doors and barriers that people that were born in this country, or in America, for example, would go, oh, I can't do that.
Dragon, yeah.
They're a very good live band.
Yeah, we've kind of grown up with them. They've been around a while. So.
She's followed dragons since they're all this big. She's like, ring the bed. Great, fantastic, really good.
They're good singers, good music. We enjoy them.
Oh, I love them. I might just go and see them. I didn't know they were on even.
Dragons have been around for years. You can't complain. They're just an institution. Bondi Beach, obviously, their best album. And we're just here for a great night. We expect it. They won't let us down.
We wanted to be a pop band, we love pop music, and no one could write pop songs, so we got Paul over, who was a great pop writer, fantastic, and things just got worse and worse, basically, until it ended up that we were playing in a wine bar in Camperdown in Sydney.
And the guy that ran the wine bar used to make a huge pot of boiling, smelly mints, because in those days, if you served drinks, you had to give people food. It was part of the licensing laws. It was next to a nurse's home, and he said, boys, you get $1 a head every time a nurse walks in. We said, great, great. He said, if nobody walks in, you take the mints. So for about 5 months, we walked home every night to Bondi with these huge plates of steaming, stinking mints.
Which was good. I mean, we ate. It was fabulous.
We were saved from there by a guy called Peter Dawkins, who was also a New Zealander, who was a record producer for CBS Records. He brought Dick Asher, who was the head of CBS International, to the little wine bar. He picked him up straight off a flight from America. And this guy was so tired, we were playing away. That night we played, we didn't have the bottom half of our PA system, so we only had these little horns, and the voices were going... It's only the top frequencies of the horns coming through. And this guy was asleep, this guy, Dick Asher. He had his head down like this, he had his drink here, and he was going... And we played the whole night, and then Peter went, what do you think, Dick? He said, sign them!
Dragon office. Oh, hi, Todd. How are you doing?
Hang on a second. What's the first drive, Dee?
To Warrnambool.
Warrnambool.
We phoned through our accommodation breakdown.
Cool. We'll change the flight. The 3 gigs in Perth, they're on?
Yep, they're on 27, 28, 29th of January. There's the update.
We toured all the time worked actually. I just remember it being a struggle from mid-1975 through to about 1979.
That's right. Okay, it's fine.
She got so heavy out of way, talking about the mess I love, talking about the day, he's so forever.
contemplative, I guess. You think about things a lot. There's a lot of silence, you know.
It all works on a very anticipatory and sort of expectant nature. You know, everything goes along at all. You know, you never get surprised with what happens. You know, hey, the truck turns over, everything's burning. Okay, you know, we don't play tonight.
Rock and roll's a form of catharsis on both sides. You know, it's catharsis for the people performing it. You know, they get to scream and stamp around and in the end be applauded for it. And it's cathartic for the audience in that they can, you know, get slightly drunk, sing songs and have a good time. It's really what it's about. That's what you try and deliver, the illusion of or the actuality of a good time every night. When we first started earning money, I guess we were kind of oblivious to it, really. We were fairly well cocooned within, you know, we're being driven in places in Rolls Royces. We'd get to the gig, there'd be lots of screaming girls, and we'd sort of get out of the car and run inside, do the gig for 40 minutes, run back through the girls, get back on the roller, go back to the hotel and drink and, you know, rage on.
So it was fantastic for us. And it got bigger and bigger and larger and more out of control, and more money came in, and it just turned into a huge sort of Fellini-type circus.
That was quite perfect in its early history in the late 70s because we just did exactly what we wanted to do. You know, people can't act that way anymore. You can't be that rude and you can't be that outrageous. You know, hoteliers have grown tired of it and the general public won't accept it. But still then, you could do whatever you wanted to do. So we were very lucky. We kind of got on the tail end of that anarchic sort of, yeah, we're going to do what we want.
We went to the States and screwed it up magnificently. And, you know, until the band broke up where we were just totally exhausted and we'd had it and we just weren't interested anymore. It was just this huge roller coaster ride that started, you know, on a small scale, of course. This is Australia, New Zealand. And finished in the gutter. Well, when I first got over here, I felt this incredible sense of relief because Australians, this is generalisation, of course, Australians would say something and they'd mean it. You know, what they said was what they meant. But with New Zealanders, for a long time, I'd found that they were saying something, but they were really saying something else.
New Zealand's a much more subtle place in lots of ways. The people are more subtle, and the mentality's more subtle, and people are a bit more introverted and interesting, I guess. You know, that doesn't translate so well when they get out of the country. You know, you see a whole bunch of New Zealand men in a room, they're all going, I am the loneliest one. You know, it's all like that, isn't it? You're like, I'm incredibly interesting, don't talk to me. You know, they're all being really sly, and all the women are the same. Australia's much more open because it's a big flat country and people going, "G'day, how are you? Hello!" You know, they're trying to see each other through 3,000 miles of blasted plane, you know.
The return tour was fantastic. And then it just kept going, you know. I mean, we made a few records and Rain became a hit. And then the people in the band changed and it just became a fact of life rather than something that used to be in, you know.
The Bondi Beach concert, the Turn Back the Tide concert, started because Todd and I were making the album up the road in Bondi. We'd come down here every day and have a cup of coffee and see the junk, the muck from the sewers floating out to sea. So we thought we'd get a truck, stick it down by the beach and get some people to collect money and have a couple of bands playing. And it grew and grew and grew. We got free PA, free lights, free staging. In the end, there were about 200 organisers, and we thought maybe if we were lucky, we'd get, you know, 10,000 people.
Thank you, Sydney. Keep it clean. You got a great guy ahead of you. Bye-bye.
The people out there, what do you think they've come for?
The music
people hear some music, you know, that maybe as a byproduct of that they'll go, yeah, it's not good that there's crap in the water, and it's not good that there's ordure in our beaches, and we swim in E. coli, you know, so maybe they think we can fix it somehow.
We moved from the city because we weren't getting anything done in terms of writing. We just couldn't write. We had lots of friends who were great, but they, you know, friends take up a lot of time. Our business was just crowding in on us. We thought, to hell with it, we've got to get out of here. So that was one of the reasons. The other thing was children, you know, just growing up amongst killers, monsters, car fumes, sirens, smog, garbage, everything, you know.
Just to be absolutely sure that...
This actually to me sounds like the reason that I want to do the record in the first place. It sounds like those late night bars where
when we
there's a
started
piano player and a guy singing.
Laura is the face in the misty light. Footsteps that you hear down the hall. The laugh that floats on a summer night that you can never quite recall. Well, recall you. One more.
Okay, here we go. Stand by.
That you can never quite recall.
Todd and I have been playing and singing together for so long that if I sing something or change a phrase, I mean, I think Todd's a fantastic singer, really. A great bass player. I don't even have to signal it to him. He just sort of knows something.
If I'm singing harmonies without even thinking about it, I can find out what he's going to do when he's not going to sing. It's just like most of the time. But, you know, it's an unspoken thing. You know, you don't analyse it, you don't sort of agonise about it, you don't... These days, we don't fight about it. It just, you know, we've accepted the fact that we're so... On any issue, we're coming from opposite angles, always, but going in the same direction.
Summer comes.
I feel annoyed. I feel really pissed off that there's all that crap happening between Maoris and between New Zealanders. You know, when I grew up, people like that. Now it's like, I'm this and I'm this. I hate that. It's so stupid. You know, if people left New Zealand and travelled around the world, they go, we don't have the luxury of, we don't have the time left to be able to squabble like this anymore. You know, the rest of the world is in such a bad state that people are going to come and buy New Zealand, and all these concerns about who owns what, they're just going to be academic. It's pitiful, actually, that people are that stupid still.
I'll always feel like a New Zealander. cross I have to bear. It's just something that's, you know, you can't change that. Oh, I can't. And I've always got this incredible fondness for New Zealand, but I'll never be able to live there, I don't think. It just, when I get to New Zealand, this fog descends on my head.
Take